I don't usually share this side of my writing anymore. But today, after a long day, after a stranger told me to smile, the words showed up anyway. The ones that speak in rhythm when I'm pushed too far. So I'm letting them speak while I work on this spread in my Gluebook. Stop telling me to smile. I don't want to smile for you. I don't have to smile for you. I don't always smile to a stranger passing by who will forget my face 2 seconds after he finished judging it. Oh, you say I look prettier if I smile. Oh yes, of course, here I am, standing at the bus stop, tired, hungry, my back stiff, my feet are aching, carrying a whole day's worth of life on my shoulders, and somehow you think my highest priority is looking pretty for you. The man I don't know, the man I don't want to know. The man who thinks his opinion is a gift that I should be grateful to unwrap. A man who doesn't know my name but still believes he's entitled to arrange my face, like furniture in a room he doesn't live in. A man who thinks smile is harmless when all it does is remind me how often women are told to soften ourselves so the world feels bigger while we feel smaller. A man who calls compliments when it's actually control. Who calls it friendliness when it's actually intrusion. Who calls it harmless because it never harms him. The kind of man who insists he meant no offense, as if intention erases impact. As if women haven't learned to read the undertones in every cheer up and every sweetheart and every comment that tells us our bodies are community property. Because every woman knows this script. The way a man's comment lands like a small demand wrapped in a laugh. And every woman knows the way it builds. The harmless comment, the lingering stare, the smile, sweetheart, the don't take it so seriously and can't you take a joke? As if we haven't heard this chorus since we were 12 years old walking home with our keys between our fingers. The way any objection turns us into dramatic, too sensitive, hormonal, anything to avoid the truth, that he crossed the line without ever thinking it was there. Every deflection meant to flip the blame back on us for reacting to something he never should have said in the first place. Every time we object, we become the problem. Never the man who opened his mouth to police our faces in the first place. I don't want to look pretty for you. I don't feel pretty. I don't care to be pretty. Not for you, not for anyone who thinks my face exists for their comfort. You say you were just being nice? Then be nice. Let me be, let me have my space, my small bubble of air and quiet in a world that already pulls at me from every direction. If you were really kind, you'd understand that kindness never comes with a correction. Kindness doesn't sound like a command. Kindness doesn't assume I owe you anything at all. Kindness is silence when silence is what's safe. Kindness is distance when distance is what's needed. You can nod, smile, and move on. You can let the moment pass without reaching into my life with your assumptions and your expectations and your need to shape me into something easier to look at. Because what you don't see is the 100 little calculations I make just to stand here. The mental math of safety, the quick scan of escape routes, the practical calm in my voice that you think is attitude is really self-protection. You don't see the part of me that braces every time a stranger speaks because I don't know if it will be a sentence or a threat. Don't tell me to smile. Not when you don't know the night I had, the fear I swallowed, the deadline I missed, the grief I'm carrying in the bottom of my coat pocket like a stone. Not when you don't know the way I'm trying to keep my pieces together long enough to get through this day. Not when you don't know how long I stayed up last night trying to stitch myself back together. Not when you don't know what news I got this week and that some days just surviving already feels like a full-time job. Don't tell me to smile when you don't know that this face, the one you call unfriendly, cold, too serious, is the face of a woman who has endured more than you'll ever see in a 2-second glance. Sometimes my mouth is neutral because my mind is loud. Sometimes my eyes are tired because life is heavy, and sometimes I'm not smiling because I don't feel safe or soft or open enough to hand a stranger that piece of me. Sometimes my stillness is the only part of me I can control. Sometimes holding my expression steady is how I stop myself from shattering. Sometimes the quiet on my face is the only quiet I get all day. Sometimes the world pulls at me like too many hands asking for too much. Sometimes a smile would cost energy I just don't have to spare. Sometimes my neutral face is the safest place I can put my feelings tucked away and protected. And sometimes I just don't want to, and that reason alone should be enough. Stop telling me to smile. If you want to be kind, respect the space around my body, the story behind my silence, the autonomy in my expression. Let me walk through the world without performing joy to make you feel more comfortable. Let me rest. Let me breathe. Let me exist without the weight of your expectations. So don't tell me to smile. I smile when I feel safe, when the moment is mine, when something inside me actually rises to the surface on its own. Not because someone passing by decided my expression was theirs to rearrange. My face is not an invitation, my expression is not a request, and my silence is not a problem for you to fix. So don't tell me to smile. My face is not public property, my mood is not your business, my expression is not a performance for your comfort. If a smile comes, it comes because I chose it, not because you demanded it like a favor. Back up. Move on. Let this woman breathe. Because I'm done shrinking myself to make strangers comfortable, and I'm done apologizing for the shape my face takes on the days I'm simply surviving. I'm done pretending your discomfort is my responsibility. I'm done pretending my boundaries are optional. I'm done carrying the burden of keeping the peace when the world has never learned to keep peace with me. So hear me clearly. I'm not here to soften the air around you. I'm not here to make your day lighter at the cost of my own. I'm not here to perform pleasantness so you can walk away feeling satisfied. I am here, in my body, in my truth, in whatever expression my face holds at this exact moment, and that is enough. You told me to smile, and all I could think was, I will. Just not today. And not for you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. Stay strong.